What's up, y'all? Welcome to Nostalgic Sports. Today we are covering the lost team uniforms from when the XFL and the USFL merged to form the UFL. So the team uniforms we are taking a look at are teams that were active in 2023 but were dropped because not every XFL and USFL team were included in the UFL when the two leagues came together. It sucks that we lost these teams after the merger, and I'd love to see them be introduced into the UFL. I made a video of the 2024 UFL uniforms, and I thought it would be cool to take a look back at the uniforms that could have been in the UFL. So in no particular order, other than starting on the XFL side of things, we have the Orlando Guardians. I will say, I understand teams need to stand out in the league and have different color schemes while also not looking like knockoffs of other teams, but I am not a fan of this color scheme. While I do appreciate its uniqueness, I like the dark green uniforms and I love the matte green helmet, but I think the neon highlighter color should be removed from the color scheme. The slight hint of gray on the uniform looks alright, but I think the neon should have been swapped out for a white or even a yellow, and it would have improved the uniform. They're unique, but definitely not my favorite. As far as the Guardians away uniforms went, I much preferred them, as the neon took a step back, and I think their away uniforms are actually pretty solid. They are simple and not too flashy with the neon. Next up, the Vegas Vipers. I really like the black and red in a football uniform, and I think they pull it off really well. Their helmets are also really awesome, with the stripes looking like fangs, and their logo, a V for Vegas, V for Vipers, and it's the shape of a snake, and I really like that logo. The little touches of snakeskin looks pretty cool as well. And the aways look awesome as well, using more of the snakeskin design for the numbers, and I think that stands out really well. And it gives the uniform a unique flair without being too flashy. The font on the Vipers also stands out and looks cool. I definitely think the Vegas Vipers had some of the coolest uniforms in the XFL and even out of the current UFL. Next up, we had the Seattle Sea Dragons. Seattle definitely had some of the flashiest uniforms in the XFL, and I love the primary orange and green color scheme. The uniforms definitely stand out from all the others, and I could see it being a love-hate for a lot of people, but I loved them. The combo just really works for me, and their metallic orange helmets were so cool with the dragon scale design on the stripe, and the dragon scale is just a nice detail on the shoulders and pants as well. Their away uniforms are really cool, using the dark blue that was a tiny piece of their home uniforms and making it more a part of the aways with the numbers, which I like. The designs of the numbers are also cool and not as basic as some of the others with the font that they use. Only thing I would change is primarily wear the orange pants with the orange jersey and the white pants with the white jersey for away, instead of how they primarily wore the jerseys and pants mix-matched colors, but really solid uniforms overall. Now moving on to the USFL lost team uniform side of things, a small detail is important that the USFL teams were not sponsored by Under Armour until the USFL became part of the UFL, and they had to use a smaller name outfitter for their uniforms. So that's a factor to mention when looking at these USFL uniforms, because if they were around today in the current UFL, they would have gotten the Under Armour produced version of the jerseys, which I do think it slightly improved the look of the USFL teams that got them. First up, we have the Houston Gamblers. The Gamblers uniforms were a simple black, red, and gray colorway. I like the simplistic look, but they do look similar to a lot of other football teams. I like their logo a lot and how the state of Texas outline is inside the Gamblers G, and that looks good on the helmet. I would have just swapped out those pants for black because I don't think it's a good fit. I feel the same on the away uniforms. They're pretty good looking but basic, and the gray pants work better on the aways for sure. Overall, when you have a black and red uniform, it's hard to mess it up. Next up, we have the New Jersey Generals. I really like the colorway of red, white, and gold. I'm also a fan of their logo and the stars on the shoulders of their uniform that take inspiration from the military rank of general being worn on the shoulder of your uniform, which is a really nice touch. I really like the away uniforms as well and how they kept the stars on the shoulders, and I think the colors fit really nicely together. I just have thrown in a little more gold, but they were some of the best in the USFL. I'd like to see those make a comeback. Next up, we have the Philadelphia Stars. I applaud them trying to stand out from the other teams, but I am not a fan of the red and yellow color scheme and how this uniform comes together. The jersey could have been improved with white numbers with a yellow outline, but I think altogether they would have been better off if they had changed the red for a different color, because too many teams had used red in the USFL and it's hard to make red and yellow work together. A lot of people compared these uniforms to McDonald's football uniforms. Their away jerseys, I think, are definitely better because of less red on yellow, but I do think that they would have been better with a color redesign keeping the logo the same. Next up, the Pittsburgh Maulers. Of course, you have to have the standard black and gold for a Pittsburgh team, just like all their others. I think they did a good job with their uniform. I'm not a big fan of when teams have the shoulders a different color than the rest of the jersey, but I think it worked for Pittsburgh. Their uniforms look so much better than the monstrosity they used to play in with the color combo that didn't fit, especially a Pittsburgh team. Glad they left those behind to wear the black and gold. Their aways I like as well, and I like how Pittsburgh jerseys were different from the other teams without trying to do too much with the uniforms. And finally, we have the New Orleans Breakers. I love their colorway with royal blue, light blue, and white, and I think they come together really well in this uniform. Their helmets are nice with the wave decal on the side with a touch of silver. I'm a fan of simple, and this uniform really works for me, and I think the away uniforms are even better, being my favorite of the lost USFL team uniforms. I really like how the blue stands out on the away uniforms and the simplicity of it. It works all around, and I hope to see the New Orleans Breakers and these uniforms brought into the UFL. So out of the uniforms I covered today, which one is your favorite and least favorite, or what would you have changed on these uniforms? Hopefully we see these teams come back in one way or another in the future. Let me know in the comments what you thought of the lost XFL and USFL uniforms from the merger, and any topics you would like to see me cover next. If you liked this video, check out one of my last ones where I talked about the current UFL team uniforms. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more UFL and other sports content coming soon.